Harpreet, in terms of customers, how have you helped your customers during the last few months?
See, the first thing was to get in touch with each of them. The first thing was to not try to sell in the face of the pandemic. I mean, if I am sitting at home, my customer is also sitting at home. I thought that I have no work to do. Actually, more my customer didn't have any work to do, and that became an opportunity. You know, when initially a lot of people, those who were busy, they were not approachable, they were not available. We were able to reach out to them. People are scared of them or around them. They don't want immediately somebody coming and talking about sales. So what was to do was to empathize with them, to understand what they are going through, how they are thinking, and then gradually bringing them to the point as to the pandemic is the biggest reason why the insurance. This may in the first call. Understand them, to talk to them, and then bring your point home whenever you find the opportunity. So this was more important. This is how the customers were mobilized.
Thank you, Harpreet. Nick, how do you think businesses have been approaching customers?
It's really interesting what Harpreet's saying there, because customers are, they're concerned about their income. All over the world, people are worried about not being able to work. Are they going to be able to pay their bills? They're concerned about family health, actually being able to see their loved ones and their extended family. Also, they're concerned about security. And it's interesting that many companies are actually responding to this and dealing with it. However, many aren't. I mean, I'll give you a personal example. Yesterday in the mail, I got a letter from Virgin Media, who are my satellite cable suppliers. And it said, your special rate is finishing in 3 weeks' time. Your new rate is this, which is a 60% increase. There was no other benefits. And if you don't like it, you're free to have a look round. So Virgin Media are at risk of losing me as a customer purely because of the way they're making me feel that they don't care about me. And the companies that are actually showing concern, and the sales forces that are showing concern, are actually making a very strong impact emotionally on their customers.
Nick, that's fantastic. So in summary, it's kind of like putting your customers first, or putting yourself in your customer's shoes. So thank you. Our advisors put themselves in their customer's shoes. How might this support customers?
See, in a developing country like India, most of the customers have seen their prosperity level come down by at least 1 or 2 notches, because incomes fell. The Indian GDP dropped by as much as 24% for the quarter 2, which is the April, May, June quarter. So there was a huge amount of concern in terms of future, and people changed their priorities. So when earlier the priorities of individuals were in terms of buying luxurious items, maybe planning a holiday overseas, buying things which would be impulse buying and spending, going out and spending. Suddenly, we are seeing that there's a distinct change in the customer behavior. The cost of living has come down drastically. In fact, a typical Indian household expense, if you take out medicine or if somebody was impacted by COVID, the cost of living in India has gone down drastically. Wow. And while, as Nick was rightly saying, that the expenditure on essentials and purchases through e-commerce has gone up, what people are realizing is that if you look at the Maslow's hierarchy, people are now getting into the basic needs. People are getting into essentials. So in past, if my advisor touched onto the topic of insurance, the customer had a typical tendency to defer, saying maybe some other time. But today the customers are willing to sit and listen. And while life insurance has been a beneficiary out of it, it has been one of the least impacted industries in India. But the biggest beneficiary, of course, was health insurance, where the total premiums of health insurance has gone through the roof. I mean, they have been seeing significant jump in the year-on-year growth in the business. So customers, in a nutshell, customers are cutting on non-essential, impulse buying, and customers are investing into their family, into their future, not mostly because of the environment where they are. If you lock the entire family in a house, obviously we are going to be more concerned about tomorrow rather than having a great time today. So that's what
That's
we have been seeing.
great. Thanks, Vivek. What great insights. I think putting yourself in the customer's shoes as a sales individual always helps you understand the position of the customer, and no more so than today in the climate with the pandemic. So thank you. That's great. Some further information that people might be interested to learn is that, feeding on what Nick was saying, an Accenture report on consumer behavior in August said that 50% of people rank financial security as one of their top 3 priorities. 59% favor connecting with friends virtually. So the pandemic has sort of almost encouraged people to be more virtually connected than ever before. And this is quite an interesting statistic, but one I don't think that we will be unduly surprised about. 80% of people are fearful for their health right now.